Royal Sussex Squad, gather round because today we're diving into something the tabloids absolutely did not want to happen. After 19 long months, after endless speculation, after 1,000 fabricated stories from the British gutter press, Prince Harry finally reunited with his father, King Charles, in a private meeting at Clarence House. And let me tell you, this wasn't just a simple visit. This was a moment of history, a turning point, a shift in energy so powerful that the entire royal press machine practically burst into flames trying to spin it. Now, before we get into the deeper truth, let me welcome all the squad members, returning and brand new. You guys already know how we do it here. We uplift, we tell the truth, we protect Meghan and Harry's legacy, and we drag the haters by their own contradictions. And baby, today, there is plenty to drag. But first, let's talk about what actually happened. Not the nonsense the tabloids are trying to sell, not the fantasies from bitter commentators, but the real human story unfolding behind the scenes. Prince Harry arrived at Clarence House at exactly 5:20 p.m. He didn't sneak in. He didn't crawl in. He didn't hide in shame, despite what the tabloids love to imagine. He arrived with confidence, with clarity, with purpose. And most importantly, he arrived with peace in his heart. This is something he has wanted for a long time. A real face-to-face moment with his father, without palace courtiers, without media spin, without the toxicity that surrounded his life back in the institution. The meeting lasted 54 minutes, just under an hour. But time doesn't define healing. Some conversations take 5 minutes to change everything. Some take 5 hours and mean nothing. What matters here is the willingness. Harry showed willingness. King Charles showed willingness. And the palace, for once, did something they haven't done in ages. They confirmed the meeting without adding any drama. Imagine that. No snide sources, no strategic leaks, no shady spin, just a simple confirmation that father and son met privately. And the moment Harry left, ducking respectfully in the back seat for privacy, the vultures in the press began circling. You could practically feel them vibrating with desperation. Because reconciliation? That's their worst nightmare. Harry being at peace? Terrifying. Harry and Charles improving their relationship? Catastrophic. Why? Because conflict is their currency. Hatred is their business model. And Meghan bashing is their entire brand identity. So, of course, what did they do? They immediately started churning out their usual nonsense. Harry needs to rebuild trust. Harry must stop leaking private conversations. Harry wants to return to the royal fold. Same tired script, same zero evidence claims, same projection from the exact same people who have leaked, twisted, distorted and manipulated private Sussex information for years. Let's get one thing clear. Harry has never been the one leaking anything. He has only ever spoken openly when the stakes were life or death, when Meghan was being targeted, when their children were at risk, when the institution refused to protect them. And even then, every single word he has said has been on the record. Transparent, direct. No anonymous sources, no palace mouthpieces whispering in dark corners. Meanwhile, the monarchy and the media? Chilly. They leak like a broken tap. They leaked Meghan's private letter. They leaked Harry's travel plans. They leaked the Meghan made Kate cry lie, and then, years later, came back quietly and admitted the truth. It was actually Kate who made Meghan cry. They leak to hurt. They leak to control. They leak to shape narratives, and now suddenly they want to talk about trust? Please, the hypocrisy is suffocating. But let's pull back for a second. Because for all the noise, for all the spin, for all the bitter energy, something real did happen at Clarence House. Something meaningful. Something that mattered to Harry deeply. He has said repeatedly that life is precious, that fighting endlessly is pointless, that he wants healing, not war. And this meeting reflected that. But there's another part of the story the tabloids conveniently ignore: the security case. While Harry was involved in legal proceedings against the Home Office, King Charles could not risk any private conversations becoming entangled in legal documentation. That's not emotional, that's not personal, that's legal. Once the case concluded, the door opened, the pathway cleared, the timing aligned. Suddenly, the meeting became possible, and Harry walked through that opening immediately. Because Harry is not the one blocking peace. He never has been. And what about Meghan? Oh, you know the British media could not wait to drag her into this. They were already crafting their ridiculous narratives. Meghan forbade Harry from seeing Charles. Meghan refused to come. Meghan is jealous of the reconciliation. Pure fiction, pure projection, and pure misogynoir. The truth is simple. Meghan stayed home because this was a father and son moment, and she respects that. That's called maturity. That's called class. That's called emotional intelligence. Something the royal commentators haven't had in 50 years of royal reporting. Meghan has always supported Harry reconnecting with his family, but she refuses to walk back into the lion's den where she was abused, smeared, ignored and scapegoated. And she has every right to draw that boundary. Boundaries aren't punishment, they're protection. And let's not forget, while the British media was trying to spin stories about her jealousy, Meghan was living her best life. Sunshine, children, success, peace, stability, business ventures. Meghan is thriving. The idea that she's at home seething is laughable. Meghan is not sitting around thinking about the royal family. The royal family is sitting around thinking about her. Now, let's talk about the signs, the subtle clues that this meeting was actually a positive one. First, the king cut his time in Balmoral short. You don't interrupt a retreat unless the meeting matters. Next, the palace confirmed the reunion publicly. A big deal. They didn't have to do that. Then Harry appeared at his Invictus event afterward, calm, relaxed, smiling, grounded. When asked about his father, he responded kindly and respectfully. No bitterness, no tension, just warmth. Notice also the secrecy. No leaks about what was said, no sources revealing emotional details, no palace insiders giving play-by-plays. That's respect. That's boundary. That's the very trust the media claims Harry needs to rebuild. Yet he demonstrated it immediately. Meanwhile, the loudest critics are the same ones who profit from chaos. This moment marks something new, not a full reconciliation, not a fairy tale return, not a palace reunion tour, but a shift, a softening, a chance to begin again in private. Harry is not returning to the monarchy. He has built a life that suits him, a life of purpose, independence, partnership and emotional safety. Meghan is not returning to the UK either, and she shouldn't. But father and son can find peace without any of that. Now here's where it gets spicy. The real losers in all of this are the professional Harry and Meghan haters, the commentators who built their entire careers on tearing them down, the YouTubers who survive on rage clicks, the so-called experts whose only qualifications are bitterness and boredom. They are livid because peace destroys their narrative, healing ruins their content pipeline. A father and son getting along? That's financial devastation for the people whose careers are based on fictional royal wars. Harry didn't come crawling. He didn't come begging. He didn't come yearning for status. He came as a man who knows who he is, who stands in his truth, and who walks in freedom. He came to begin healing, not to surrender. And that is what terrifies the royal establishment the most. A prince who didn't need a crown to define him. Harry walked into that meeting at Clarence House as a grown man, a father, a husband, a leader. Not a spare, not a pawn, not a scapegoat, but a fully realized human being who has done the work, the emotional work, the internal work, the healing work. Work that many people inside that institution are too cowardly or too proud to begin themselves. This is why Harry and Meghan trigger so many people. Because they chose growth over tradition, humanity over image, love over duty, and peace over performance. And as this new chapter begins, it won't be loud, it won't be public, it won't be theatrical, it will be private, intentional, and based on boundaries Harry has every right to enforce. He has always said he wants a family, not an institution. And this meeting is a step toward that. Now, as we wrap up, let me remind the squad of something important. Healing is not linear. Progress can be slow. There may be setbacks. But this moment, this small yet powerful moment, it matters. It shows that Harry's heart is still open, that Charles is willing, and that despite years of turmoil, something real can still be rebuilt. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into the truth, the real truth, not the tabloid fantasy, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a Royal Sussex Squad breakdown. And if you want to support the channel and keep the pro-Sussex truth alive, hit that super thanks button. Every contribution keeps this community growing and keeps the haters pressed and stressed. Thank you for being here. Thank you for standing with Harry and Meghan. And thank you for choosing real truth over royal fiction. Until next time, stay royal, stay Sussex, and stay absolutely, unapologetically unbothered.